Wait, how do I already have a thumbs up? All right, so it is Wednesday. I've been trying to stick with doing a live stream on Wednesdays, so we'll see when and or if anyone joins us tonight. All right. All right, so we got a couple people in the room. So no clear tonight, though I did re-up the clear, but you guys that donated and threw some money in the hat for some beer money, I wanted to show you what you guys got me tonight. Preston, this is a Natty Bow Crab Shack Shandy. All right, Travis, good to see you. Kirby, what's going on? Hey, Kirby, what happened, man? You're supposed to hit me up when you came up here. Did you not come up here? All right, John, what's going on? Out of Order Barbecue, hello, sir. Oh, shoot, I forgot your name. Out of Order Barbecue, was it Tim or... Crap. Cheers, Preston. Jeff, okay. I'm going to try to remember. Sonny, how you doing, sir? Excuses, Kirby.
Bye. Good night.
Nathan, I would suggest you smoke chicken first and not ribs. So my whole thing is this: whenever you use a new smoker, to me, new smoker, new grill, whatever the case may be, I always start with cooking chicken. Chicken is cheap and it's easy to cook, and if you mess it up, you won't be mad. All right, Nathan. So, I mean, you have a handle on how you should cook your ribs. Do you know, like, what kind of smoker is it? That'll help me to try to. All right, Kirby, I know. Just messing with you, man. I got 14 years in the game. Sonny, I'm good, man. Family's good too. Gosh, this stuff is gonna make me burp a whole bunch. I apologize now, but we're almost down one. All right, look at that. Craft beer pours. Cheers. There's one. All right, so $25 charcoal grill, and you trying to do ribs on a grill? I don't advise doing ribs on the grill. It's just me. Torgy, I think you're up to like, what, 50 subs now, Torgy? Is that a squirrel? My favorite beer used to be Yingling, but I'm pretty particular to Miller Lite. Not supposed to have all the sugar, so I've converted to a light beer. But I tell you what, this Crab Shack Shandy, I'm feeling it. One down. All right. Dave Murphy, thank you, sir. Dave, this is your contribution. I just wanted to, let you know. Thank you very much. Brandon Barr, how are you this evening, sir? That new smoker, how's that working out for you? Larry, good evening. Turkey says, hi, my name is Josh, and, well, barbecuer, it's been almost 2 weeks since I lit a fire in my pit. Colby, Good evening. Well, good evening for me. Good morning for you in California. Cody, how are you doing this evening, sir? What does that say? Oh, it says refill, please. So, I'm using the Cosmos Q Cozy. I figured, why not? Brandon, that's awesome, man. I'm glad to see and hear that that you are enjoying that smoker. It's always a good time. Exactly. Barbecuers Anonymous. This is what this is. Preston. Preston, you related to somebody I know? I feel like I should know this, but I don't. I'm looking at your last name, and I feel like I know people that have that last name. Car folks, is that how we know each other? Did you go to a wedding? And is that where you met me or saw me? Excuse me. Like you could be a brother or a cousin of some folks that I know. 4J's Barbecue. What's going on, sir? How are you this evening? Is it John? Is that the J? Goodness. I'm gonna have to switch from this beer to clear if I'm gonna keep burping like this. I apologize. All right, so Torgy says he has 46 subscribers, and thanks to me. I don't know. I guess 40 of them are thanks to me, maybe, and it's not thanks to me. It's you guys. Well, Torgy, that's what happens, man. You know, sometimes you look. I don't have a problem spreading the wealth, and if you guys notice, a lot of you guys who are joining me on these live streams, when you comment on my videos and other things like that, if you're following me on Instagram, I try to make sure I follow you back. That's like the least I can do. All right, for 10 years, I worked a lot in Baltimore doing block. All right, so Preston says no, he lived in Northeast Maryland for 10 years, but worked a lot in Baltimore doing block and brickwork. So are you a mason, Preston? Because, I could put you to work and I'll feed you. Oh, shoot. I understand. Oh, this shave? Yeah, I know, right? Every now and again, I look human. Again, I've been trying to decide whether I'm gonna keep it up and keep it shaved, or go back to letting it grow for about a week or two and then cutting it off, and letting it grow for a week or two and cutting it off. This is maintenance right here, man. I'm not. I ain't about it. Thanks, Larry, though. All right, so there are 15 of you here. Guys, if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up for me. Come on, focus. Hit that thumbs up for me. Come on, focus, camera, focus. There we go. All right, I'm a mason tender. My family didn't lame, but I do know how. All right, well, that's what's up, man. I appreciate that, Preston. Definitely. Let me know when you're ready. I'll ship it right out to you. And maybe I'll include something in the package for you. Just saying. Let me know. All right, Gary, how are you this evening? Torgy, man, thank you. Did I calibrate the big green thermometer? So, I did not. I took it off of, pretty much good authority that it was okay from factory. I from what I understand, you usually have to calibrate them after some use, but in the beginning it should be all right. I was very careful when I installed the thermometer not to twist the dial too much, and I held it and turned it from the back to actually, it wasn't even a turn, it was just like a squeeze. So here's the deal about shipping crabs, Preston. I would actually recommend you contact somebody to ship crabs because it'll probably be more expensive for me to ship you some crabs. I was at a FedEx ground or FedEx period, and there was a woman that was trying to ship a half a bushel of crabs, and wherever she was sending them to, it was gonna cost her $200 some change dollars just to ship the crabs. Because of course they're perishable and you need to get them sent like overnight. And wherever she was sending them to, it was gonna be like 200 and some change bucks. But you said you live in Tennessee, man. Take the drive. Just come on up and get some crabs. It's gonna cost you the same amount of gas and fuel as it's gonna do for shipping, in my opinion. So Dave, no, again, I didn't calibrate the thermometer. Like I said, I took it on good authority that it was okay. When I did install it, I was very careful not to spin the dial. All right, so I wanted to talk to you guys about prepping for events. Like, if you guys are getting into catering, or even if you guys are cooking for family or whatever the case may be, you know, pen, paper, pen, your friends, definitely. Write a list out. Make a list. One of the guys that was commenting on one of my videos or some of my videos back in the day, he's like, create a checklist. And I really do have a more of a mental checklist. Yes, indeed you could, Preston. Preston said he could come up to Maryland and pick up some barbecue at the same time. Look, how about this? You let me know when you want the crabs. I can get them for you maybe, or at least, you know, have some place ready to have them for you, and you can get barbecue and crabs all at the same time. I could try to help you out as far as, you know, getting them, but, you know, you gotta send me the money for it. All right, anyway, checklist. I don't see why not, Django. I actually saw someone on Instagram earlier tonight. I was scrolling through his pictures, and he had some crabs. It was like king crabs, or I don't think, or snow crab legs, not king crab, that he had on the smoker. I don't see why you couldn't smoke them. All right, so there's 16 of you on the live stream. If you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up. But I would like to talk to you guys about, you know, the title here. Preparation. Let's create a checklist. Yep, John, you know what? Checklists are what's up. Because I know I'm pretty forgetful, but over time, I've kind of gotten to the point where I have a mental checklist, and I'm like, all right, I need a pair of gloves. I need, you know, some foil. I need a paper towel. I need like some cleaning wipes. Obviously, I need charcoal. I'm gonna need my grill. I'm gonna need some lighter fluid. I need, you know, all of these things are things that you have to take into consideration. But not only the things that you're going to take and use at the events, how about a list of the things you're actually going to cook? Or the things you have to prepare ahead of time. Those things. There have been times when I've walked out of the door, had an event, had potato salad or coleslaw here for the event and forgotten it here. Had barbecue sauce. There was a time where I had barbecue sauce for an event, and something happened where we folded the seats up in my wife's van, and the barbecue sauce was folded in the seats in her van. So like we tore the van up and ended up having to go and get some more barbecue sauce. But things like that, you know, if you have it, and I'm like, I know I took it out there. I know I handed it to my younger son. So yes, that happened. My younger son, we folded the seats up or down or something, or the one seat up or down. And I think it was the one seat because I had to put the Cambro in the van, and the seat that was folded down, the barbecue sauce ended up sandwiched in the seat. Yeah. Big Reggie Reg. How are you this evening? Yeah, John, like I said, John Freeney says if he doesn't do anything else, he always creates a checklist. So, drop my pen. So, some of you guys, are you guys actually doing events? What's something you've forgotten if you've had to cook at an event? Like even if it's just a family event, you're the guy that's on the grill. What have you what have you forgotten? All right, Mr. David Langley, thank you. Regular old shirt, man. This is a regular button down. This shirt is pretty old actually. All right, so even if you're just having a cookout, what's something you've forgotten to get, forgotten to cook, forgotten to prepare? What come on, I want to have a conversation here. Extra pans. Extra pans are always imperative. Um, you guys remember uh, you guys remember when I talked about catering for that big event, that event where I had 300 plus people, and I took some extra pans and it ended up coming in handy. Ooh, it ended up coming in handy because I ended up having to spread everything out, and because I had extra pans, I was able to spread everything out and create two cook stations. All right, so John from 4J's Barbecue says he forgot extra pans, right? Uh, Torgy says he forgot the wireless meat probe. Kirby says the keys to unlock the hitch to the trailer. All right, so I mean, if you let's like talk around these things. So if you forget extra pans, and I'm pointing to the screen like where I can read the comments, not like you guys can see them. But if you forget extra pans, hopefully maybe you can stop somewhere on the way and get some extra pans. Usually a dollar store is pretty readily available. If you can't get to like a Sam's or a Costco or a BJ's or something like that, even supermarkets sell them. Torgy says he forgot the wireless meat probe. So, if you don't have the wireless meat probe, I know I have like a regular analog meat thermometer. I keep it in my car, but the instant read ones or the quick read ones, I have one. I don't know where. Oh, it's out. I guess it's out by the side of the grill, by Sammy, the big green egg, and then I have one in the garage, and I also have an analog thermometer in junk drawer over there. So I have thermometers all over, and that's not even including the wireless thermometers, the long range wireless thermometers. All right, so Kirby says he forgot the keys to unlock the hitch to the trailer. So I guess when you got to your event, you couldn't take the trailer off of the hitch. One of the things I do to combat things like that, I almost always carry two. Well, not almost always. I carry two sets of keys. So this set of keys has my wife's van on it, and this set of keys has, you see the Volkswagen keys, and then there's the the keys to Vanna, and then also on this set I have keys to Vanna. And now here's the important thing. This is the key to the lock to the trailer lock on the trailer. And this also is the lock to the key on the trailer. So I have a lot of redundancy. Also have keys to my house on both of those key rings. I have keys to my pickup truck on both of those key rings. And I have keys to my Jetta, one on each of those key rings. So there's a lot of redundancy. So like even if I had to lock the keys in the vehicle, I can. So that's why I do that. Cody says he forgot a knife, like a knife for cutting up meat, because I always have a pocket knife on me. All right, so Big Reggie Reg says, is it cool I say that? It's just one of those things. He says he's been thinking about getting into doing some barbecue gigs here in Vegas. He says, Lord knows I've got enough cookers here. LOL. And I've done some pretty big cookouts here on the Horse Ranch. Had 30 or 40 people. Well, look, I tell you what, I got started by doing cooks for my friends, and then it kind of just spread, and people were asking me to do different things, and I kept turning people down, and then I finally just said screw it, and and decided to go ahead and start cooking for hire. Um, so John says I didn't count my pans. I forgot a couple extra pans that I needed for my meat. Again, I won't say that's a simple one, but if you get to your event early enough, hopefully, or if you have some help or someone that can run out and go get something for you, yeah. Colby says I've definitely got to definitely forgot to pack cutting boards before. Whoops, but yeah, overpack equipment always come. Yep, definitely overpacking equipment definitely comes in handy. Um, Mr. David Langley says, my uncle forgot he had burgers on the grill one time and they turned into hockey pucks. I think we've all been there. We've all gotten distracted and burnt something up. Uh, Meat it? Have I ever used the Meat it? What is that, Dave? This is why I have my laptop here. Because someone always brings something up that I've never heard of. So then we're going to go out to Google. Meat it. Did I spell that right? MEATET. Did you spell that right? Have you ever used the Meat it? MEATET. Maybe. Excuse me, Dave. Maybe you have that spelled wrong. All right, so let's see. Kobe says, working on getting my own barbecue catering gig running, but working for a catering company for the past 4 or 5 years. Higher-end food, but also Santa Maria-style barbecue, tri-tip, and chicken. So Kobe's out on the West Coast. And I tell you what, Kobe, there's no better, tool than experience and education. You're getting that right now where I kind of had to fumble and figure it out myself. So Cody says, yes, tailgating, he had to use a pocket knife on everything, including the meat, ribs, and chicken. On a frying pad. Genja says, is there any way to do a barbecue on a frying pad? What do you mean a frying pad? Yeah, Rich. Okay. Thank you, sir. I hate calling people out on their names. Too broke for a barbecue spit. But what do you mean a frying pad? Mark, I feel fine. I just sound congested and I have that persistent cough. So Reg asks, what's the biggest cook I've done or would do? And so the biggest cook I've done so far was for that group where I had like 300 people group. Where I actually made provisions in the big smoker in Bessie to be able to cook more food at one time. Right now, I know that I have a friend that I can call and have him come up to my house and help me prep food and cook more or less. I wouldn't really need him to help cook, but what I would do is I would do everything. Like I would probably do the beef and the pork on one day, and then cook all the chicken the next day. Or cook the beef and the pork overnight into that morning, and then once all of the beef and the pork comes off, I put the chicken on the smoker, and then while the chicken is cooking, we would be pulling pork and slicing brisket. So I don't really have a number. I mean, I think I could at this point. I think I could probably comfortably handle an event for 500 people with the 2 big smokers. I did one for 300 people. Now, even with the 300 people, I cooked on I cooked for 2 days, right? Well, it was a Wednesday night. No, it was a Thursday night into Friday, and then I cooked all day Friday. And then while the chicken was cooking on Friday, we were prepping. So we were slicing up all the brisket, we were pulling all of the pork, got all of that stuff squared away. Once all of the pork and the brisket was squared away, that's when the chicken was done, and then I had to process the chicken, and I put all of that stuff away out in the garage, and just like separated it, boom, boom, boom. Hey, Mark, thanks for asking. for since. Oh my gosh, man, Kirby, I understand. Thermometer. It's a thermometer. Oh wait. Let's see if I can find what it is. Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to find it. Oh, Dave said he forgot a thermometer. Meter. Oh, okay. A thermometer, I guess. Cody T says, "What's my biggest catering mistake?" I have a lot of them. Like, narrow it down. I've made some big mistakes. One of the last ones that comes to mind is I didn't double check my list, and I had 2 events in the same day. So Cody asked, "What's my biggest catering mistake?" The biggest one I had recently was I had 2 events in the same day, and one was like early or late morning, early afternoon. Well, it was early morning, and then the other one was later in the afternoon. I confused who got what, and I ended up not taking like potato salad and coleslaw to the morning event, and I ended up having to run to Walmart and buy like 5 or 6 or however many containers of coleslaw and potato salad, like in 1 or 2 pound containers, and take them back to where I needed to be. And I screwed the pooch on that one. But usually, like, biggest mistakes as far as catering involve forgetting something. Like, I've never. Anyway, yeah, usually involves forgetting something. Client added the bill. All right, so Robert Alexander asks, who usually pays for the meat initially, the client, or do I add that to the bill? No. So, Robert, I guess you're asking like if I'm cooking on site somewhere. I just want to clarify before I start talking about it. What kind of because because a few of my friends here to call me Reggie. Some people call me White Reggie because it's the only Reggie that they know. That's white. Well, Red, I mean, there's a I guess there's a guy on the radio and he was like Big Reggie Reg, or he's Reggie Reg or something like that. But nonetheless, that's where I think it comes from. All right, so Robert, okay, so Robert did answer my question, and I'm trying to keep the comments in order. So he says, who usually pays for the most for the meat initially, the client, or do I add to the bill? So all of my clients get billed up front, period. Especially for events. Now, the only time where I don't bill someone up front is 1, I've done business with you before, and or 2, your bill is like less than $50. I've learned my lesson and gotten burnt like 3 or 4 times over 3 or 4 years, where I've done something for someone and just kind of been like, oh, no, don't worry about it. I'll go ahead and I'll do this. And usually, what it makes it even worse is when businesses approach me and talk about trying to do business. That's why I have such a sour taste in my mouth about doing business with other, businesses. But nonetheless, Reggie, let's say you're having an event. You and I, you want me to come and cook on site. Not Reggie, Robert. You want me to come and cook on site. I'll work out the date and the time. I tell you that I have a 2.5 hour minimum. You pay me for the 2.5 hour minimum on site. That 2.5 hour minimum includes a half an hour of setup and a half an hour for me to break down. I'm not going to show up at your event at noon and start trying to cook or start setting up the fire at noon for your event, for your guests who are already there. So you pay me to show up ahead of time. When I show up ahead of time, I get the grill unloaded, I get the grill going, and boom, by the time your event starts, I should have food done. Period. All right. So a half an hour setup, half an hour breakdown, 2.5 hour minimum. So when people pay me for 2.5 hours, I'm cooking for usually an hour and a half, 2 hours max. Once folks start going over or they hit that 2.5 hour mark, I start breaking my grill down, and either you're gonna pay me the a half an hour in half an hour increments, or I'm breaking the grill down. Period. I want them to make sure that they agree to paying that half an hour increment. If they do, I'll keep cooking as long as possible. As long as I still have charcoal, I'll keep cooking. All right. Now, if I have an event like that and I'm taking food, I will get food for them that they've already paid for. I usually require 50%, 50% to secure the date. Okay. Once you secure the date, your balance is due 7 days prior to your event. I don't want any nothing. It's paid up in advance, and usually what ends up happening is the 50% will cover taking care of the food. So if I need to take care of the food and get the food early, I can. And then the balance will take care of making sure that any other incidentals or anything like that I have taken care of as well. So now that's for an on-site event. If someone is catering, if I'm catering something for someone, pretty much the same deal, with the exception of 50% will guarantee that I will make room in the smoker for them. That doesn't necessarily guarantee the day, and it doesn't make them exclusive, because just like you saw, I had 2 events for this past weekend. It just means that I need to make sure there's enough room in the smoker for them. Then payment is due again 7 days prior to the event in full. People don't want to pay you the money in full. Nope. Because the problem is, I have to cook the food in advance. You need to pay me in advance. I'm not going to cook the food and then you say, "Oh, I changed my mind." Nah, not gonna be able to do it. All right. All right. So John asked from 4Js. He says, "How are you doing with the name? Going this weekend to get the next edition to Candy Girls." So, John, I have a name in mind. I just don't know whether or not I want to go with it or not. We'll see. So Mark, the answer to your question, Mark says, "How did the wedding and the car show gig work out?" It worked out fine. I was tired as all get out after I did all of that, all of those things, and gosh, unfortunately, I did a lot of filming on the front end. But once I started prepping the food and getting everything ready, I didn't do much filming. When I got in the car on Saturday morning, I filmed some. When I got to the car event, I filmed some. And then I filmed a little more when I got to the wedding. That video will go live tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern. So set your clocks, set your alarms, and make that the first thing you do tomorrow morning. All right, so... Yep, so hopefully, Reggie, I answered your question in answering the other questions. I usually charge half up front, or, it depends. Half, a third. It really all depends on the amount. Usually, if the event is less than $1,000, it's half. If the event is more than $1,000, I'll do it in thirds. And that's basically to make sure these people are serious. People can tell you, oh, I want you to do. Well, if you don't show me the money, then they're not getting. Then no, don't do it. Kobe, I'm catering right now as a side job. I work in IT. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So David Langley says he was referring to the meter. He says the wireless meat thermometer. I don't like. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, meter. Wireless smart meat thermometer. All right. See, the problem I have. Whoa. Is this Bluetooth or is it wireless? No wires, no fuss, track your cooks, blah, blah, blah. Come on. Shop. Let's see how much this thing is. Yeah, see, here's the problem. All right, so the meter probe, and it's MEATER. All right, stainless steel construction, water resistant, blah, blah, blah. It says wireless up to 33 feet or 10 meters. It's Bluetooth. The problem is my grills are, the only grills that I have that are close enough for this to work are on the side of the house with Sammy and on the back of the house with the my wife's propane grill. But my house is old construction and usually Bluetooth, it won't reach that far. That's why I use the long range wireless thermometers that I use. All right, Reg. No problem, Robert. I still think we should name it after my rooster, Big Dirty. Reggie says he's got a rooster that's named Big Dirty, and he thinks I should name the smoker after. You guys, I'm telling you, man. There's things I like and things I don't like, and I'm telling you, the name will come to me. It'll do something, or something will happen, and that's what it is. And the reason I'm not saying the name that I have in mind is because I know as soon as I say it, as soon as I utter it, it'll be like, that's what we're going to call it. And I'm like, we're going to see what happens. I'm telling you guys. Jeff from Out of Order Barbecue says, oh, by the way, the Captain Kirk name is because Kirk built it. I got it. I mean, I'm not that socially inept. I need more strict way with people. Normally don't charge until I get there. John, you crazy. You know what? How many times have you lost money? As soon as you lose money more than once, you're going to stop doing that. I don't care how nice you are. John, where do you live geographically? I do follow up with them 2 weeks out. Okay. Yeah. It's always awesome info. Well, thank you, Big Time. It's probably Big Tim, but all right. Man. So, I mean, I'm telling you, John. So John says, is that the same way I name my kids? No. So Mark, it's funny. My oldest is a junior, so he got his name by default. My middle and my daughter, my youngest child rather, we all have the same initials. So that's how it eased everything in. All five of us have the same initials. So that is how it made it a little easier. Yeah. So John says he's in Texas. I think that's the problem because all of my people have been great. Yeah, you know what, man? People have different morals in Texas than they do in Baltimore City. And I'm going to leave the rest of that up to your imagination. Just saying. It's not that one of the other things too, and this is a sad truth, but you tell someone what your price is, and if they balk, that's going to tell you what they're going to do. I've had so many people who are so excited about the service, so excited about getting food, and then I start talking about money, and it's like they owe me money, and they haven't even done anything or purchased anything. Yeah, so... All right, Dave, man, I appreciate you stopping by. I definitely appreciate the donation, and I'm down. Number 2 is done. So if you're keeping count, I need to go get 2 more. Good thing about being right near my kitchen. All right, so what I did, I'm putting the one I'm not drinking right away into the cozy, and the one I'm drinking right away, it gets drunk right away. Excuse me. All right, so if you haven't already and you're on the live stream, please first and foremost say hi, all right, via comment, and then secondly, if you could leave a thumbs up, I greatly appreciate it. So, yeah, John says he likes what I do. I like what I do, too. I'm telling you, man, John, you have to charge up front. it'll help weed out those people who aren't serious about what you're doing. All right, Robert, you too. Do I charge for my materials? So, no, I don't. I know I really should. So, Kobe says, do I charge for my materials and time when smoking the meat, i.e., wood, seasonings, hours spent running the smoker, etc.? No. That's kind of all part of, that 3%, or excuse me, that 3 times whatever you pay for your meat. One time is going to pay for your product, one time is going to pay for your time, and the other time is going to provide some profit. That profit is what you use to take care of the incidentals, like your wood, the foil, the pans, the sauce, the whatever else, is incidental in cooking. So unfortunately, it's not like I say, oh, I'm gonna make a brisket for you. The brisket is this amount, and then I'm gonna charge you another $5 for, It's not like doing tires. You know how you go get tires and they charge you like a disposal fee and then a recycling fee and all these other things on top of it? Nah. Or going to the airport where they charge you for a bag, where they charge you for this convenience or that convenience. I don't do that. All right, Chuck, how you doing this evening, sir? Eric says, hey there. Do you run into any problems with having or not having a license for an event? So I've come close. And the thing is to know, you know what? There's a movie. It's called Boiler Room, and it was about these guys who were in the stock market, right? And there's a scene, and I think it's Ben Affleck, and he says, "Act as if." All right, and I'd implore you to look up the act as if, and there's a scene from the movie Boiler Room. I don't want to get demonetized, but look it up on YouTube, and it's a great like motivational like 30-second like clip. The whole thing is act as if. Act as if you are rich. Act as if you have the license. Act as if you know what you're talking about. Sometimes you know how people say fake it until you make it. Not saying that you should fake it, but be knowledgeable about the things that you don't have. So in case someone does come up to you and ask you about it, you can at least say, I don't have this because of that. Or I don't have that because of this. So at least you know about it, you can talk to it, and you can kind of, I don't know, BS your way around it. But the one time I did an event at a college, it was a dyno day at a college, and someone asked me to come and cook. They're like, hey, is there anywhere where you can come? And, they're like, oh, we like what you did at this dyno day. Can you come and do that for us here at the school? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I got there, and, I was going inside to get water for my pans. And then one of the guys like, hey, wait a minute. I don't think I ever asked you this. And I'm like, what's that? He's like, do you have your licenses and stuff for this? I was like, yep, sure do. Like, I'm here on site with the food. Yep, sure do. He's like, okay, cool. And then the only other time was I was doing food, and this is like back to the worst catering experience I had. I was doing an event for a credit union, and they were having a shred day. The CEO of the credit union is a friend of mine. She was my manager. She's more or less a mentor now to me. We link up every now and again and have lunch, and I bounce some of my business ideas off of her, and she will, bounce business ideas like marketing strategy, type ideas off of me because I've done a lot of marketing for my business. So it's a win-win. Like I said, I help her with her marketing, and she helps me with like strategy on doing certain things for my business. So anyway, when I was first started doing the barbecue, she's like, she just blindly supported me. She just said, you're my friend. I'm going to order food from you. Boom. Right. And I think I've told this story, a part of the story before, but she said, I'm going to support you. She's like, boom, I'm going to support you. I want you to come and cook and bring food for my employees. I'm like, okay, great. Took food for her employees, rave reviews. She hit me back up and she says, listen, I supported you because you were my friend the first time. She said, now I'm calling you up because I need food because everyone loved your food so much. One, we need more food for the employees who are here, and two, I need food for the public, right? We're going to be giving food away. We're not selling it. We're going to be giving food away to, people to come to the shred day. I'm like, all right, cool. So I did like 2 or 3 cycles of cooking for her employees and cooking for the public, and then cooking for her employees, like when she had a little appreciation type thing, and then cooking for the public. So she would like order food for her employees like once a month, and then every 4 or 5 months she would contact me, and I would do lunch for her whole staff. So quarterly, basically, I was doing food for her. And then twice a year, they had the shred day. So first time it was just food. Second time it was food and shred day. Third time it was like just food for the employees. Fourth time it was food and shred day, right? Like the 5th time was good. The 6th time again was double up. Like the 7th time, I'm like, oh man, this is old hat. Kind of got it down pat. We take the food in, blah, blah, blah. Well, there was someone new. The new person had me come in there earlier than usual. Like the shred day started at 10. I usually didn't bring the food until noon or 1 o'clock, right? Around lunchtime. Well, this woman insisted that I was there at 10, like 10 o'clock. Like, why am I going to be there so early? I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to argue. It's fine. Well, just so happened when I was there, the the county inspector was there. So now there's a problem. She inspects my food, and the problem is when you're traveling or when you have food, you need to maintain it at 140 degrees or higher. My warmest pan, after heating up food and traveling like an hour and some change with the food, the warmest pan was at 135 degrees and the coolest pan was at 125 degrees. The woman made me take everything out of each of the pans, put it into a container, microwave it until it got back up to 165 degrees, and then I was able to serve it to the public. So when you asked about the worst experience I've had, that was it. It took me an hour and some change to warm all of the food that I had to warm back up to 65 degrees in a microwave. But now that I've gone through the ServSafe certification, I know why, right? I know why. And I mean, I get it, but it would have been fine. Anyway, nonetheless, worst experience. All right, so let's see. I know that was kind of long. All right, let's see. Yeah, so that was Eric. That was my thing when I ran into a problem. Hey, Natalie. Well, come and do the dishes at my house too, Natalie. That's right. It's not Natalie. You're Natalie's father. I remember now. All right, Raul. Raul in California, maybe? All right. $26.50, Smokey. I understand how you charge. I was wondering, do you have your client sign a contract for each job? No, I don't. I don't have clients sign any sort of contract. Usually when I send the email, or not the email, when I send the invoice, it basically says in there the conditions. You have to pay this in order to secure the date. Once you pay that secures your date. And in order to make sure that your event is fulfilled, you have to make full payment 7 days in advance, unless we talk about it. Great movie. Yes, Boiler Room was a very good movie. And what's even made it more poignant? Around the time when that movie came out, I was actually working in a bank selling life insurance and annuities. So it was very pertinent. At the time, I wanted to actually go get my Series 7. John says he needs to start charging for foil. It gets so expensive and you go through a lot. I am fully aware. I do not charge for foil. But what ends up happening is I have a big job. I won't say recoup. I stock up while I have a little bit extra profit. Because what you will find is the $20 job here, the $15 job there, it's actually going to cost you money versus the $750 job here, the $1,000 job there, the $1,500 job, the $3,000 job. That's when you can start. That's when you can start buying other things. Like the biggest event that I did, when I was first starting out, was for the company I worked for. We were going to be having a cookout basically at work. It was like not really a potluck, but the management purchased food. And when I found out it was a barbecue or a cookout, I said, hey guys, I do barbecue. They're like, all right, well, we want you to do food. Oh, really? All right, cool. They're like, we want 150 pounds of pulled pork. What? Sure. I had no idea how I was going to get it done. All right. But when you first start out, you don't tell anybody no, because that's money. I think that job was like a $2,000, $2,500 job. And I bought a lot of stuff that I needed for me to complete that job, because again, they paid up front. So like I bought the 2 Big Cambros. I ended up buying a refrigerator while I was cooking. Like, you gotta spend money to make money. That's how I feel. All right. Even if you're not. Yes, Chuck, you're absolutely right. Chuck says even if you're not doing food professionally, the serve safe cert gives you a lot of good information, and you're absolutely correct. I like a lot of the things, and it's funny because my kids will tell you I harp on them washing their hands. Like, even my wife the other day, I caught her. She was about to do something, and I looked at her and I said, "Did you wash your hands?" And she was like, "You're not going to shame me." But I mean, it's not trying to shame you. It's just good food safety. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it. Raul, if you follow me on Instagram, make sure you let me know who you are. Just like comment on the picture, like, hey, this is Raul. I talked to you in the live stream, and I'll make sure I follow you back. Problem is, trying to get the focus there. If I look at your account and you follow me, and I look at your account and it's private, I don't look back. It's just a rule, steadfast rule. If you got something to hide, I'm not with it. Period. That's just how I've been. All right, how do I like to advertise for my catering services? Yeah, John, my kids and my wife hate being in the kitchen while I'm cooking too, because I always move around and I'm like, get out of my way. Colby says, how do I advertise for my catering services? For the most part, word of mouth. I get a lot of people that call me. I do have one of my friends is she used to, I don't know if she does anymore, but she used to be really big on Yelp. So I took food to her one time, and this is a friend of mine that lives in Philadelphia. So I took food to her in Philadelphia, and she wrote a Yelp review for me, and then that put me on Yelp. And that's a whole nother story. I'm not the biggest fan of Yelp and what they do to the business owners. The consumer is fine, but the business owners, they it's all about making money and advertising for them. So just to quickly tell you, if you have a business on Yelp, Yelp will have your business page where someone can find your business on Yelp, right? But they will require you or ask you to pay for other or your competitors' ads and pages not be shown on your Yelp page. So my Yelp page is talking about barbecue. Guess what? If there's another barbecue place, joint in the area, they will have an advertisement on my page, on my Yelp page. Yeah. So never have I paid for advertising, especially not via Yelp. And then they beat you over the head. Like, they do cold sells to try and sell you for things. All right, so Jeff, it is Jeff, right? Jeff from Out of Order Barbecue. I'm trying to keep names straight. He says he took the food handler as well as the food manager license. When I did it, and actually I looked it up the other day because someone asked me what's the difference, and I'm like, Google it, or search on Google. But I didn't say that. I just looked it up myself, and I'm like, one of them is only good for 2 years, and the other is good for 5. And then one of them you have to work with and or under someone who has the manager certification. And if you have the manager certification, then you can work anywhere. All right, so the letter X. So the letter X is like as in Xavier or Xander. All right, what is the letter X? What is the letter X stand for? He says, when cooking in competition, or hopefully he or she, when cooking in competition, what piece of meat is my least favorite to do or most challenging? You might not have been around long enough to know I've never competed. I've never done a competition. I'm way too competitive, and I would be like big mad if I do a competition, spend a whole bunch of money. All right, spend a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of time, and then don't actually do well. And it would be an ego thing for me too. Um, Sometimes it's better to not know than to try and know. Um, Plus, I prefer doing backyard barbecue versus competition barbecue. The people who are competing, all power to you, more power to you. That's just not my thing. Um, really not my thing. There's tons of free advertising. Chuck says there's tons of free advertising available on social media via Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and they're all free. Yes, they are. And the problem, though, is with like, and I can be very vocal because this has happened to me with Instagram. Instagram used to be a lot better as far as if I post something at a certain time, someone who was looking at Instagram would see it at that certain time. If you guys are on Instagram and you know what ends up happening now is Instagram decides what pictures and posts you will see via an algorithm. It used to be chronological order, and that's no longer the case. So when it was chronological order, what I used to do was I used to post pictures at certain times of the day. I used to post 3 to 5 pictures a day, and I would post a picture usually between 9 and 10 o'clock. Okay. For those people who were just getting into their office, they would scroll through their timeline and they would see something available, and they're like, "Damn, you know what? I'm gonna get lunch." Okay. Then I would post a picture again, rated about 11:30, between 11 and 1. Okay. Again, trying to catch those people who are sitting at lunch. Trying to get them to, and I'm trying to mute this conversation with my friends. Um, I would try to get them to think about what they were getting for dinner. Okay. And then I would usually post a picture of whatever I had left in the trunk of the car or whatever I had available when I was on my way to my kid's school. The reason being, one, if I caught somebody at my kid's school that wanted something for dinner, I had the food with me. Two, if there was somebody who was taking a break or just scrolling through Instagram, later in the day, I was trying to get them to think about, to guide them to, picking up 10 wings or 20 wings or a rack of ribs or, some pulled pork or some brisket while they were thinking of, trying to figure out what they were going to do for dinner. So that was the strategy. Now, not so much, not the case. It's all about engagement. All right, Mark, man, you take great care as well. And Jeff, yeah, I see. I'm trying to remember you guys' names. Yep. And I probably, come on, focus. I probably would do okay. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do great. I'm just not that. I won't say I'm not that confident. I'm not that cocky of a person. I'm pretty humble. You guys, I'm a regular dude. I can make mistakes. I have my own faults. There are things that I do one way, and other people might agree or disagree, and to each his own. Me personally, I don't get it. The whole competition thing. Now, if I was competing and had some serious sponsors where if I went and flubbed, I wouldn't be losing a whole bunch of money, then I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And actually, my friend that works at the credit union, she's already told me, she said, whenever you want to enter a competition, she said, we'll sponsor you. I'm like, okay. And, it's good to have that in my pocket, but I don't want that. Because there was an event where she was advertising at the event, and they, like, as an advertiser, like a major advertiser, a key advertiser, she still had to buy tickets for her people to get into the event. Dude, if I'm a marquee sponsor, like a whatever top tier sponsor, you gonna give me a couple tickets so that I can come in and bring my folks in and advertise. That's just how I feel. So I told her, I said, look, well, if there's an event, usually, like sometimes they say, if you're competing, you can have 4 tickets, right? And I'm like, if I get tickets, you can bring your folks in and they can advertise all over my booth, all over anywhere and walk around and do whatever. If it's, if it gets you in, I'll do that for you, no problem. I mean, especially seeing as how you're willing to sponsor me. So yeah, that's it right there, John. John, some of these competitions can cost anywhere from $100 to enter to $250, $500. I'm not probably not that much, but $250 to enter, just to enter, and then you still have to pay for the food that you're gonna cook. I mean, you guys know how much a brisket costs, and if you're doing a competition, you're gonna need to cook at least maybe 2-3 briskets and decide which piece of which briskets you're gonna submit. You cooking 4 to 6 pork shoulders, $300, man. Excuse me. You know what? I just bought a grill. It was $300. A whole grill. I'm sorry. I don't want to enter a competition that there's no guarantee that I'm actually going to win some. What? Yo. So, Kirby. Jeez. This is why. See, all right. So, this is confirmation that I don't need to be in any sort of competition. So, Rob says it's $300 for the competition he's entering. Kirby, who is a KCBS judge, he says, nah, bruh, they're up to $300 to $450 now. And if you really want to be top, you got to turn in Wagyu. Do you know how much Wagyu beef costs? What? No, I ain't with it. Nah, my pockets aren't that deep. Like, no. Torgy says the last competition he was in was $200 plus the cost of food. And here's the thing. Torgy lives in like the middle of Iowa. Torgy, is it Iowa you live in? So you figure a bigger city, a bigger competition, you can probably double or triple that. Dude, Angel says, yeah, you don't need no comp. Comp ain't paying my bills. Sure enough, not. That's crazy. See how out of touch I am? I just never looked into it. You know why I never looked into it? Because it's really not been my thing. I'd rather, and I've said this before, I'd rather do my thing in the backyard barbecue, right? Give you something you've never had before. And then you be mad that you can't get it from somewhere else. Yo, Kirby says you're spending somewhere between $800 and $1,000 per competition. And that doesn't include, well, I mean, that probably does include like travel to and from, but if you don't have like a fancy RV or somewhere to stay in, like what? I don't have $800 to $1,000 just throw away, right? I don't. You guys seen I have 3 children? I ain't got that. That's ridiculous. Anyway, wow. Ridiculous. All right, so look, there are 24 of you now on the live stream. If you haven't already, please do check in, say hi. I would love to say hi to you. And if you could, please give me a thumbs up. It greatly helps these videos get spread out and more people see them, so more people can join the Steel Drum Smokers Barbecue family. Definitely appreciate that. And I want to thank you guys. Earlier, not today, but earlier this week, I hit 3,200 subscribers on YouTube. Like, that blows my mind that there are 3,200 people that took the time to say, click, I'm going to subscribe. I mean, I remember being in Torgy's shoes where he's got 50. Oh my gosh. Torgy says, plus, all right, so when he was talking about his $200 competition or what it cost him $200 to get in, He said that didn't include the charcoal, the wood, and the travel costs and cooking supplies. That is ridiculous. Wadadley, am I saying that right? Wadadley, Woodadley. I want to say Woodadley, but it's Wadadley. I think you phonetically spelled it out last time. I suck. How you doing, sir? Thomas says, good evening, gents. How's everyone doing? There was maybe, let me look at my dashboard real quick. Oh, no, in the analytics. 3,223 subscribers currently. That's crazy. I'm, so let's see here. There are 10% females here, that watch my videos. So 10%. So the 23 of you here, so 1 or 2 of you might be female. If you're a female, put up like an X in a comment. All right, CT, how you doing, man? That's the thing, man. That's what I figured out, Kirby. YouTube really wants you to upload every day. If you upload every day, well played, Chuck. If you upload every day, then more people will see. I used to tell, I had a friend that did hair videos, and I used to say all the time, the more people see, the more people see. Hopefully you understand that. The more people see from you, the more people will see what you have to show them. All right? So again, the more people see, the more people see. Yeah, I know you don't count. Technically you do, because your daughter's account is female. So yeah. No problem, Kenny. Kenny Dykes. I feel like that's one of those, like, that could be a name trap. There was somebody in here the other day, and he's like, I bet a friend of mine, I couldn't get you to say X, Y, and Z. So I read his name a couple times. Anyway. All right. Any other questions you guys have? Like, I'm big into metrics, the metrics on my videos, and like, I can tell you guys, the video that I just put up, the first fire in the new insulated smoker, is number 2 in my top 10 videos in the last 28 days. Like, I don't know how. The flood, the stuff about the flood is up there. And then, what did I buy now, basically, is up there. And behind the scenes of the catering job is still up there. And first cook, the top side oil change on my car, that one is holding steady. And then the first cook video, excuse me, that first cook video that I just put up yesterday is actually in his top 10 list of minutes watched for videos in the last 28 days, which is awesome. So, when I put up videos, usually the videos average about 150, maybe 200 views in a week or two. The video I just put up yesterday has like 600. I don't know how or why or what. I'm not, questioning it. I just want to thank you guys for watching it. That's what's up. Torgy, what was it? Oh yeah, the more people see, more people will see. Torgy asked me, what do I use to season my brisket? All right. Torgy, I'm tired of this question. Here's the deal. I want you to get some pen and paper. All right. I'm gonna wait a second. I'm gonna let everybody get some pen and some, like something to write it down with. Okay. You ready? Oh yeah. All right. So Eric, how are you this evening, sir? RGV in the house. RGV. I need another person to operate the camera. Having to set up and move it between shots is what gets me frustrated. Dude, Kirby, man, you got to do it. Waiting on other people to set it up and do it for you, man. You know what? I tell you, buy a couple tripods. Best investment you could ever make. I actually need some better tripods. The tripod that I have is years and years old, and I spent like $20 on it. But it works. It works. And just like you said, it's a pain in the butt to move the tripod around and have to move it and stuff like that. But guess what? Get it done, man. A. Vasquez, how are you this evening, sir? Oh, well, yeah, well, man, thank you. That's what's up. Says, I guess it's Shannon. Shannon, is it Shannon? Shannon said, I just watched yesterday's video and subbed immediately. That's what's up. Chuck says, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and wood smoke. I don't actually like using onion powder and garlic powder. I am a bigger fan of granulated garlic and onion. RGV, is that Rio Grande Valley? Orale. See, you like that I know how to say that? Orale, Holmes. Rio Grande Valley. The powder cakes on it. Yep. I just don't feel like you get the same flavor from powder as you do granulated. But that's just me. That's 3. In case anybody's counting. In an hour. I'm pacing myself. Since I'm not doing the clear tonight. Alright. But Browntown, Brownsville. But look, guys, I do appreciate you guys watching. I can tell that you guys are watching. And I'm sorry. I'm trying to use this as another I'm trying to use this as another stream of income. I am making a little excuse me, a couple dollars off of it. I'm definitely not getting rich. But that's why there's ads on the videos. And YouTube, it seems like YouTube caters to those videos that have ads on them. So I'm just gonna apologize now. I appreciate your patience, just with it. Cool. Oh yeah, John. Now I get what you're saying. Yeah, I just like the powder. To me, it's just not enough. Like, you don't have that oomph that you need, especially with garlic. Kobe just says, why not just good old salt and pepper? Maybe I'm a purist. Natalie. All right, Natalie. Natalie is one of the 10% females that watch my videos, I imagine. And actually, I could probably look and see the different age group too, and see like under whatever. So 18 to 24 years old, I have 4.2% of my watch time. 86 of those are male and 14% are female. Anyway, I'm big into metrics. Part of what I do is metrics. So Kobe, no, I don't use just salt and pepper. Yeah. Nope, don't. Dirty or catfishing. He says he's a 43-year-old white male. So let's see. 35 to 44. I have you make up the greatest percentage of the people watching my videos. 35 to 44 is 32%. And 93 of those 32% are male. So, thank you. Of course, it doesn't break down like race or anything like that, just gender. I'm a YouTube newbie. How are you seeing all of that? Torgy, if you look, all right, so let's see. If I'm at so I have a YouTube page, right? I'm at just a regular YouTube page. And if you go to the top right is where you can see your channel information. If you click where it says Creator Studio, in the Creator Studio, you'll come to the dashboard. In the dashboard, you'll see your view count, your sub count, some analytics. It's like a top level analytics, your videos. Like right now, I'm able to look at the latest videos I have out there, and the video where I was sitting out by the smokers on Friday night while I was cooking has got 458 views, 11 comments, 72 thumbs up, two thumbs down. Thanks, haters. And then the video I put up yesterday, it's got 753 views, 68 comments, 68 thumbs up, and 1 thumbs down. Yeah, I mean, like I can see my last subscribers. I've had 403 subscribers in the last 28 days. Like, wow. But in the same little area, that on the left side you see dashboard, video manager, live streaming, community channel, and then there's analytics. When you go deep dive into the analytics, there's different headings and different things that you can look at. And you can learn a lot about what you need to improve upon based off of your analytics. And unfortunately, I'm talking directly to Torgy here. Like your average view duration. You obviously want to get your average view duration up. I tell you that YouTube... All right, Natalie, have a good evening. No, I don't do... let's see. I see. All right, Eric Moreno, have a great evening, sir. My sister was on the iPad and I told her to stop bothering you. Oh, it's fine. Natalie, I get it, it's cool. Do you do a 3 a.m. video? No, don't really do 3 a.m. But then again, Natalie, where are you geographically? Because it could be 9 at night for me and 3 o'clock in the morning for you. Yeah, I don't like the beta versus the Creator Studio. I think it's just the layout is being different, and I'm used to seeing the Creator Studio stuff. So I don't like the beta. I like this one. I don't know. I can usually find all the information that I need. Torgy, I'll tell you what too. There are some Creator Studio videos and modules like to help you learn some stuff about YouTube. I highly recommend that you go through those because that'll help you learn or understand what the analytics, what these numbers actually mean, what these statistics, what they mean. Usually, if someone can explain to you what they're talking about or what the metric shows you, you'll be able to figure out how to cater and to better it for your channel. All right, for you guys who are posting videos to YouTube, Torgy, of course, in particular, Chuck, you too. Chuck, yeah. All right, yeah. Kenny says he watched all of Torgy's videos. Thank goodness he only has, 4 or 5 of them right now. Can you imagine somebody going back and watching all of my videos? What? But I tell you what, there are some people who you will do that deep dive for. You just go back and you watch every single video. I've done it twice so far. The first person I did it for was Casey Neistat, and the second person I did it for was Peter McKinnon. I won't say I got kind of bored, but I did not watch all of Peter McKinnon's videos. I did go back and watch like probably 3/4 of them though. Peter McKinnon, if you don't know, is a pretty fantastic photographer. Out of Order Barbecue. He says he's got one video with 35 views and now 9 subs. I know I subbed to your channel after we talked the other day. I'm trying to think. There was something. Oh, yeah. I personally like to wrap my food because I have sensitive teeth and I don't like breaking my teeth. So, you know, people who don't wrap their ribs and their pork shoulder, it's, you know, I know it's personal preference. I like a softer bark because I like my teeth. I want to keep the couple that I have left. But thank you so very much again for hanging out. If you haven't already, please do say hi. So that, you know, please leave a comment, say hi, tell me who you are, where you come, where you're watching from, and I can I can say hi to you personally. So also, if you haven't already, please give me a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, Eric's Barbecue and More. He says, I think I have 10 subs. BBQ and More. You have 13 subscribers, sir. Smoke break. Hey, look, I see in your like video, you got one of my videos. I'm cool with that. So let's see here. Uploads. Reddit. There are rules and usage you have to follow. What rules are that? Is that, Chuck? All right, Kenny is in Plano, Texas. Typically, it's uploaded any videos actually, but you know, we're not gonna give you grief. All right, John, have a great one. I already know my day started this morning at 4:30, and it is 10:22. A lot of views by advertising. So Chuck, you be active and commenting, or okay, yeah. I mean, that's typical. That's one of the reasons why I don't advertise on stuff like that, is because sometimes I have way more time to you know, comment. How do you quote? What do you mean? How do I quote? Oh, quote like for an event? Gotta be more specific. Like, throw me a bone. Is that what you're talking about? All right, Chuck. I mean, sounds like a plan. All right. Let's see here. Oh, okay. So, I was about to. Hola, Natalie. Hola, ¿cómo estás? All right, so I was about to say, shot what? But it's Showtime Smoky Q. Here's a bit of advice. Capitalization. So I know Hola is high. I speak enough Spanish to get myself in trouble. But Showtime Smoky Q, what I would recommend is, for ease of people to be able to read your user ID, is to change it to be capital SHO, capital TYME, capital S, and then capital Q. And then it would be evident that it's Showtime, because I have struggled with that for a moment, and yeah. So yes, Kobe, I do. I have 2 events this weekend. I have an event on Saturday, on-site cooking as well as food. And then on Sunday, I also have an event, on-site cooking, just hot dogs and hamburgers. I'm sure they're going to throw some other food at me to cook too. All right, so Mr. Showtime, Smokey Q, how do I quote? Usually, and this seems to be every single live stream I answer the same question, and I just need to put up a video like FAQ so I can point to it. The whole thing is this. I usually recommend a half a pound of protein or meat per person plus a 25% overage. Now, when you do that, that base, let's say you have 100 people, okay? I can tell you from experience, 100 people in half is 50. Times 1.25 is going to be 62.5. Okay? Again, I've done these numbers way too many times. I have it memorized. When you have your 62.5, I'm going to round down to 60 pounds of meat total for the event. Just meat. Then what I do is I recommend 20 pounds of brisket, 20 pounds of pork, 20 pounds of chicken. I give them prices for each. Then they come back at me and say, yay or nay, or I only have, or this is what my budget is. Can we figure out how much money I can put towards this, towards that, and towards the other? But the end result, the end goal, you still want to have 60 pounds of meat only. So that's where you start. All right? Good luck. So yes, Kobe, I started saying I have, and this is what I actually meant to do tonight, is the reason why I talked about, or I wanted to talk about having a list, is because I need to look at the invoices and determine what it is I need to prepare and have for each of these events. The event on Saturday, if it'll ever come up, let's see here. Which one? Oh, this one. All right. So the event on Saturday, I need 10 pounds of pulled pork, 10 pounds of pulled chicken. I need some coleslaw. I need turkey burgers. I need hamburgers, burger buns, beef hot dogs, hot dog buns, and then they have me down for, and then some potato salad. Then they also have me down for 2.5 hours of cooking. So the turkey burgers, the hamburgers, and the hot dogs, obviously I'm going to be cooking on site. The pulled pork and the chicken, I'm going to prepare ahead of time and then take it and set it up. All right? So that is the event on Saturday. That's Saturday afternoon. And then on Sunday, I know already that's another 2.5 hours on site plus burgers and hot dogs. Natalie, wow, I don't hate you. 47 now. That's PS December. Oh. Huh. Okay, Torgy. Iowa. Is it Iowa or Indiana? No, it's Iowa. Showtime. No worries, man. So Chuck says, as a street vendor, he's learned that holidays are not profitable for him because he can't compete with the backyard grillers. This weekend he's doing Saturday, but not going to try Father's Day, which is next Sunday. What's it? It's not this Sunday, is it? No, it's next Sunday. Man, don't make me think yeah, next Sunday. All right. Just forget it. He says, hey, everybody. All right, no worries, Kirby. Have a good one. Iowa. All right. Once grilled over 2,000 hot dogs for a catering event. Wow. He says he hates dogs. I don't hate you. I don't hate anyone. There are a couple of people I hate. I'm not going to say I don't hate anyone. But Natalie, I don't hate you. you're part of the family now. You seem to pop up on the live streams when I do live streams, so not even mad. Fort Worth, all right. Funny, you capitalized the Fort, the F in Fort, and the T in Texas, but not the Worth. Just funny to me. Anyway, so I have to, and what I wanted to do tonight, I actually was contemplating placing or trying to place my order. Trying to place my order for Sam's to get the burgers, the buns, the turkey burgers, and the hot dogs and hot dog buns. The only problem is the last time I placed the order through like the online ordering, they didn't give me the right things. And then it was like I ordered like a pack of like the Angus burgers or something like that. And then they gave me like there's 2 or 3 tiers of those burgers. They didn't give me the top tier one, which I wanted, which I ordered. They gave me the tier down. And I mean, I already had my order and I'm walking out the door, and it wasn't until the next day when I was at the event when I was short burgers because one was like a 24 pack or something like that and the other was 20 or something. And I didn't realize, excuse me, I didn't realize that they did that until it was too late. Eric says he is in Louisville. Best place to buy brisket. We talked about this before too. It's gonna depend on where you are and what you have around to you. In my area, the best place for me to buy brisket is the Restaurant Depot, because they have the best selection of brisket. Now, what's crazy is the Giant, just the regular Giant supermarket, had brisket the other day. I went to Giant and was able to buy brisket, and they had it on sale. It was on sale for half price. What I normally get it, best believe I bought them out. I bought 2 of them, which was all they had. That's what I'm saying. But going into someplace like a supermarket and buying brisket is going to be inconsistent. You know what's going to happen, and I can tell you, ask me how I know, right? I used to buy my briskets from a super Walmart. I had an event. I had events I was cooking for, and then people ordered X number of pounds of brisket. I go into the supermarket, or excuse me, the super Walmart to buy brisket, and they didn't have any. So I'm like, I have these people who have placed orders now. The good thing is they haven't paid for anything yet because at the time I was selling food out of the trunk of the car basically, and you paid me when I delivered. But the whole thing was I didn't have any brisket. I'm trying to get this to focus. Come on. I didn't have any brisket. So it was like, now what? That's when I was able to get into the Restaurant Depot, and I never had that problem again because I would always go into the Restaurant Depot. Yes, I might be paying a couple cents more, but the consistency is there. The availability is there. And that makes a big difference, especially when you are on the hook. Thomas says he's in Covington. Covington, is that Georgia? GA. Georgia, I guess. Sean says, keep doing what I'm doing. I'm good inspiration. Keep on smoking, from East St. Louis. I've been to East St. Louis exactly one time. We went to Steak and Shake in East St. Louis. I was in St. Louis, and not that we got lost, but we ended up, actually, I think we went to a club in East St. Louis. But it was one of those clubs, and this is, mind you, this had to have been like 99, 2000. And the club, don't ask me the name of the club. The club was one of those clubs. It was like hip hop night one night. It was like EDM night. It was like a this night or that night. And we went on the wrong night, and yeah. This guy who was under 21, we had a good time. Let me just say we had a good time. So Natalie's fighting with her sister. Sorry, Natalie. No worries, Eric. Benji, how are you this evening? Yes, I did see Nelly. I really did. I saw Nelly while I was there in St. Louis. Crazy story. Having a restaurant supply store is a must if you're trying to operate a business. This week I ordered meat on Monday for pickup tomorrow to be smoked on Friday. So I don't have to order it. Thank goodness they have a decent enough stock, more or less. Um, sure enough, sure are. Benji, tonight I did not, or I'm not drinking clear tonight. I got a couple donations for some beer money, so I actually wanted to show you. But I did re-up on the clear, so your money is not, being wasted. All right, Mr. Vasquez, have a good evening. And I know it's not Natalie, but you know what I mean. So my friends and I went to St. Louis, and at the time I had this, I won't say huge, but I had a bigger video camera, but the video camera had zoom. So I go up in the arch, okay, and then none of my friends wanted to go up in the arch. I did. I'm like, I'm not coming to St. Louis and being as close to the arch and not going up and seeing the view from the top of the arch. Now, that little seat that like tilts back and then goes up right and tilts back and goes up right, I ain't never been a little guy, so that was a little nerve wracking, but it was fun going up there. When I got up to the top, the park ranger who was at the top of the arch, she said, "Oh, you know who Nelly is?" And I'm like, "Duh." I mean, you can look at me. I know who Nelly is. I'm big into hip hop. She's like, "Oh, he's downstairs at the foot of the arch," and I'm like, "What?" Nah, he's in Philly, man. He just performed in Philly last night. She's like, "No, he must have come on back because he's down there right now." It's like you can see the cars, and I'm like, "What?" I look out the window, and the Charger or Challenger or whatever it was from the video that had the horns. Actually, it was the Oldsmobile. It was a Cutlass. It's not a Cutlass, but it was an Oldsmobile 442. Vividly remember the horn from the St. Louis Rams was painted into it, and I took my video camera and I like zoomed in. And I'm like, "Yo, you're right. That's the car from the video." She's like, "I told you, man." I was like, "All right, come on, let's go back down." So I go back down, and I'm trying to get in touch with my friends. Now there was 5 of us that went to St. Louis, right? I'm trying to get in touch with my friends. I only get in touch with my one friend. So we end up talking, like we end up going to where they were, and I met Nelly. So it was a big deal. That was the talk of the trip. Me and my buddy Ed met Nelly. So, but when I went and talked to him, I said something stupid. I was talking about the lights being blown out on the vehicle. If you go back and look at the video, there were a couple bulbs that were blown out, and I asked him about it. He was like, "Yo, man," he's like, "there were bulbs blown out." He said, "What happened was they had all the camera equipment rigged up onto the car, and some of the camera equipment was rigged into the car, and it kept blowing fuses and stuff like that." So he was like, "Oh man, that's pretty good. You watched that." And I got him to sign my ticket to go up to the top of the arch, and I don't know where it is to this day. But nonetheless, I met Nelly. All right, so it says, "I don't try to risk them having a case of spare ribs on hand. I'll order them in." Well, Chuck, I've only been to the Restaurant Depot a time or two, and they've not had what I've needed. And I don't, I don't buy enough of it in order to like have to order stuff in, and that's now one of the other things too is it could be a difference in my area where they have all of the food in versus where you are. Maybe they don't keep as much stock. I don't know. Kenny asks, why are the words reversed? Because the whole thing is I am using my cell phone to broadcast this live stream, and I'm using the front face camera so that I can see myself on the screen. So that's why it's backwards. Huh. Yep. Kobe, yes, just a straight corn. Thanks, Natalie. You're probably Natalie's sister. Lil Boosie, was that before? I guess it was before he went to jail. Yep. Just, same thing. The camera, a lot of, not software, but a lot of things will flip the image back. Like if you use if you're taking a selfie, the image software is smart enough to know that you're using the camera, the front-facing camera. The front-facing camera is usually backwards. And because you're using the front-facing camera, because it's just like looking in a mirror. So the front-facing camera, it will have software to flip the image back around. Swig and smoke, I mean, I don't know about sharing, I'm kind of stingy. But I have some. What's my favorite? Brisket cutting knife. So I use a 12-inch slicing knife. I have two, and actually I'm trying to think what video it is. One of the videos I talk specifically about the knives that I use and why I use them and how. I can't remember which video it was, but if you do a search for like brisket trimming or brisket cutting, just watch. There's only like 3 or 4 of those videos. Just watch them, and I'll tell you exactly what and how I cut them up. Chuck says another advantage in ordering is that they stop carrying fresh spare ribs, and he's got them frozen only. But if he orders them, he can get them fresh. This being said, he found that most stores with the meat department will order meat in for you if you don't have a restaurant supply store handy. Yeah, spot on. Spot on. No problem. Showtime. No, it doesn't work. Telling you, man, fix the capitalization, because I struggled with that, and I have also been drinking and it's been a long day, but nonetheless, shit. Oh man, what software do I use to edit my videos? I use Corel Video Studio. So I'm using Corel Video Studio Ultimate 2018, and I paid full price for this software, unfortunately. Let's see, I have a local butcher I like to go to, but if I get him to go to the Fairway, if I can't go, I do not dirty or catfishing. You know who has a video on barbecue sides? Chuck. Chuck just put up a video earlier this week where he details cooking some baked beans, or there's like smoked baked beans. So Chuck is with the Winking Pig Barbecue. Go out to his channel and watch the video. There's some things that, there's always, this is the problem when I watch videos. When I watch other people's stuff, I become critical. And it's critical because you know how you have a certain way of doing something? I feel like that's basically it. Like, Chuck put brown sugar into the beans, and nothing wrong with putting brown sugar into the beans. I would have heated the beans up to make the brown sugar easier to dissolve. That was like the one thing that stood out, or the one standout. I would have heated up, even if I didn't heat up the beans. Chuck, here's another thing too, to maybe help to speed up that process. The drippings, what you're draining from the beans, put a little bit of it in a pan, put your brown sugar in that to help dissolve that, and then you pour all of that back into your beans. so you're not adding water. Excuse me. And then you can help dissolve the brown sugar to make sure that it gets, spread out enough before you put your beans away. Yeah, but the problem with the butchers is they're more expensive. That's why they're dying. Uh, it's and it. I mean, because like there's, speaking of butcher, I bought some picanha. I got some picanha. And you guys, I've talked about this particular cut picanha before. It is like the cap of the top sirloin, and it is phenomenal. Like the best. It's like the best kept secret ever. But I have to go to a butcher to get it. It cost me $7 per pound for this picanha, and I get the whole thing. Like no less than 3 pounds, between 3 and 4 pounds. So DaVinci Resolve is a beast for editing and it's free, but you need a good processor, 16 gig of RAM. Super video card is not important for editing. So I'm struggling. I've been talking about needing a new laptop and wanting to get a new laptop. Just other priorities I have going on at the moment. I just don't have like the $1,500 I want to spend on the laptop I want. I mean, I know exactly what I want. I have it picked out and ordered. I've had it in my cart multiple times at Best Buy. Just haven't been able to pull the trigger. So the laptop I'm using is as old as my daughter, my youngest taste tester, and she's 6. Jeff says Corel Video Studio Ultimate 2018. Yes, that's the one I have. If you, I'm trying to think, like, you might be able to find a discount code out there. Just search like discount codes or whatever. Nope. Huh. So Kobe, you must be new here. You don't know. I actually don't eat pork. I haven't eaten pork in quite some time. I will taste things from time to time, but I don't. I don't eat pork. My kids and my wife still eat pork. But no, to answer your question, I have not ever cooked any heritage breeds of pork, like Duroc or anything like that. I haven't. Um, Jeff, I know you can get it cheaper than that. I'm pretty sure. I went out to Corel's video to Corel's website, and then I used like a coupon code. So one of the things you might want to do is actually sign up for Corel's, um, just sign up for Corel's like newsletter or whatever, and then they'll send you some codes usually. Huh. So Eric says he used GoPro Studio and it's painful to use. So that's the whole thing. When I decided I was going to do videos on YouTube, I used to do like one cut, no edit, no nothing. It was like go. I would film, and then it was like, all right, I'm done. Okay, bye, and turn off the camera. I think almost everybody starts there at that point where they do like single cut videos, and they don't do any sort of cuts. And that's what I was doing. When I decided I was going to do some video editing, I looked up video editing softwares and I found Corel software and I found Sony Vegas. I downloaded and used Sony Vegas and I did not understand it. So Corel Video Studio was very intuitive. It was very easy to figure out from jump. So that's why I used it and I've stuck with it probably for the last 6 years. Uh, let's see. In regards to the beans, I don't worry too much about the sugar bean because when I put the beans together the night before, yep. Oh, and I was just, that was the one thing that kind of caught my attention. That's all. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can watch Malcolm from How to Barbecue Right, and there are things that I see him doing, and I'm like, I would do it differently. And it's not that it's wrong, and that's the thing. There are things that I would do differently. I mean, to me, I would, make sure that the brown sugar is dissolved. But just like you said, it works out just fine. But that's like my OCD anal retentiveness that I need to make sure that the brown sugar is dissolved before I put it into the refrigerator to chill overnight, which is just gonna harden the brown sugar. Like that's just me. That's just me. All right. I did cook full time for a time. It was about a year and a half where I did barbecue full time. It can be difficult. It's nerve wracking, man. Like I'd wake up in the morning and not know if I was gonna have money at the end of the day. I'd wake up in the morning and have like 15 ribs, or I'm sorry, like not 15 ribs. I'd have chicken, or not even. See, all right. Let me take a step back. I usually would sell a couple things during the week and then have money, buy something else, buy bigger things on the weekend and cook on the weekend and sell food on the weekend. Then I had to pay for my daughter to be in daycare, right? I had to put gas in my car or fuel in my car because it's diesel, gas on my wife's vehicle. So then by the time it's all said and done, I'd only have, $30 to $50 left. So what do I do with the $30 to $50? I would buy a pack of chicken wings. The pack of chicken wings might cost me $15, right? In the chicken wings, I'm going to get 20 wings. Easy. So I take that $15 that I'm spending, and now it's $30. Okay? And then I also buy a pack of ribs. The pack of ribs was like $25, almost $30. And you got 3 racks. So I take that 3 racks and I sell them for $25 a piece. So now I have $75 once I sell the ribs, and I have, $30 once I sell the wings. So now I got $105, right? So I was like, all right, now what do I do? I buy a brisket and I buy a pork shoulder, or I buy a brisket and I buy some wings. I buy a brisket and I buy some ribs, or I buy a pork shoulder and I'll buy some ribs. So the whole thing is, the last cook is funding my next cook, and then the next cook is funding my next cook. But then at the end of the week, by the time it was all said and done and I had money in my hand, that's when I have to pay for daycare again. I had to put fuel in my car, gas in my wife's car. So then I'm back at the same $30 to $50 in my pocket struggle. Well, the struggle was indeed real, and I knew that I needed to do something better. So I ended up going back to work. When I went back to work, I sent my kids to private school. Sending them to private school, of course, I needed a little bit of a steadier income than, I think I'm going to sell some wings today. I think I'm going to sell some ribs today. But all these grays in my beard came from that year and some change when I woke up in the morning and didn't know whether or not, and I pull them out too, whether or not I was going to make money. There it is. Let's see if I can, there you go. But anyway, very stressful. Yep, time is money. All right, so Dirty Or says, what's the biggest catering event I've done so far? So far, the event where I had, it was like the 300 person event that I did earlier this year. That was it. Yep. Torgy, I wouldn't turn, necessarily 2 into 4, 4 into 8, and 8 into 16. I would go exponentially. So the wings, it would double, but the ribs, it was a little more than doubling my money. because usually I would try to find a smaller pack, a pack that was closer to 25. So I wasn't doubling my money. I was almost tripling my money. But nonetheless, I mean, that was it. And I used to do it every week. Yep. Every week. And exactly, Kenny, it takes it takes money to make money. That's for daggone sure. You gotta spend money to make money. Yep. Dirty or catfishing, I sure was. I was selling primarily via Instagram, actually. I talked about it earlier in this live stream, how I would post pictures during specific times of the day. And the whole thing was, I would just cook food and I would have food available. So usually almost every single day or early in the week, I would have some pulled pork that might have been left over from the weekend and maybe a pound or two of brisket that was left over from the weekend. But I was typically cooking on like Monday to deliver on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then again, depending on if I sold everything, I would be cooking again on like Thursday for Friday and Saturday. And then sometimes it would be orders that would come in for Sunday, and then I would be cooking again Saturday night into Sunday morning for Sunday deliveries. So I mean, I was cooking average 2.5 times a week. Definitely average 2.5 times a week. And I was cranking it out. I was getting stuff done, and my business took care of itself. My business paid for itself. How many businesses can do that? Can say that? So all of my money in went right back out. With the exception of paying for like daycare, field trips. I won't say I was putting food on the table, but I was going to the market and getting different things. Or if I saw something while I was at the restaurant depot or in Sam's, I would pick it up and bring it home for dinner and stuff like that. So Ardrell, man, how are you this evening, sir? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm about to leave. We're about to end this live stream. I've been at this for 2 hours. Swig and smoke. Yes, I do weddings. I said do. Yes, I do cater weddings. If you haven't already, the video I did that went live yesterday is the first part of 2, and the second part is me actually the wedding. I had 2 events. I was double booked, and I used the new smoker. Oh my gosh, I am beat. Sorry. No problem. Don, no problem. What a great idea. What was a great idea? Oh, I guess selling via Instagram. Jeff says, my idea of the way to make money on cooking is will be catering as well as going around and setting up and selling lunches and dinners. Selling lunches and dinners is way more work than I won't say than necessary, but it's way more work than you think. And you have to sell a lot of them in order to make a bunch of money. Large festivals are great, but the problem with large festivals is that usually when you're selling to the public, you have to have certain things that I did not have. So that's why I was doing things a little more under the table via Instagram. So, all right, guys, it has been almost 2 hours and I am beat. Yeah, doo-doo, Torgy, to-do. Man, showtime. It's a struggle. Just like doing these live streams. I mean, I could be in bed right now. I've been up since 4:15, 4:30 this morning. Yes, Swig and Smoke, you have a great one too. What? Well, Natalie, and it's not Natalie, it's Natalie's dad. Bear is behind Natalie's account, I'm pretty sure. He says, you do a festival, and then you have to pay 25% to the festival. Man, that's ridiculous. Shoot. 25%. Dang. And no profit. There was an event. Oh, you know what it was? Somebody asked me to cook on site for them, right? And this was for like a Pop Warner Pee Wee football league. And like, I feel like I lost money on the deal. Now I know I made money. I recouped my money, but I didn't make any money on it. You know, it was just I had enough to cover the cost of, excuse me, I had enough to cover the cost of food, and then it was like, what's left over? And it was like, oh, nothing. They're like, yeah, here you go. Here's your whatever it was. I think it was like $150, and that just, like I said, barely covered the cost of food. Yeah. To the festivals, you need to be a real business and not under the table. Peeps come around and inspect the food and tax papers, etc. So I do actually have articles of incorporation and the EIN number and things like that. I just don't have the state catering licenses. Wow. Bear says state San Diego County Fair is 25%. Look, and then he also says even a farmer's market is a minimum, excuse me, of 7%. Wow. All right, look, it's been 2 hours. I am going to abruptly end this because state to sales tax is a big one. Dorky's funny. He's like, I'm Josh and I'm a barbecuer. It's been 2 weeks since I started a fire, started my pit on fire. Yes. Kenny, I am hoping that I can do the same time next week. I've been trying to make this consistent, that we do a video at 9 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. Yes, indeed. Rise and grind. Tomorrow morning, I actually get to sleep in about 6:15. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Showtime. Showtime, here's a question for you. Where are you geographically, sir? Wow. Bear says the farmer's market near him has a 2-year waiting list. But you know what? You guys do some awesome farmer's markets out there. So that's probably why. And those people are also probably making money hand over fist. Central Texas. Like, where in Central Texas? Texas. Oh man, Torgy, no worries. I mean, you say Central Texas to me, I'm thinking Austin. Now I know it's not Central Texas though. Torgy, thank you, sir. Oh, 20 minutes south of Austin. That's like New Braunfels? Oh. See, I've been to Austin. I know Austin. I've been between Austin and San Antonio. It's probably like Denton. And I haven't even been out in Austin in, shoot, probably 7 years, maybe. It's been at least since my daughter was, right before my daughter was born. Anyway. Yeah. I know Austin and San Antonio. My work sent me to Austin and San Antonio. So, nonetheless. Alright, I'm going upstairs and I'm going directly to bed. I'm not collecting $200. So, hey, as always, thank you so very much for hanging out with me. You could have been anywhere, but you chose it to hang out with me, and I'm very appreciative. So, thank you again.